Okay, now we're starting to put the rear shock tower back into the car. And what we have to do is, there are 4 holes, 1, 2 down below there. There's a little guiding bolt over here, this guy, and then there are 2 holes up there, and another guiding bolt way up top. So the plan is to put this guy in there such that the top guide bolt sits here, the side guide bolt slides in here. So this was a bit of a trick on the other side. Let's see how this goes. So the plan of action is to push the bottom end, so this guy, in straight into the cavity here, like this, and then move it vertically upwards, because that's the only way. So if you can push it in, you push it in over here, so that then the tip slides into here where it bolts, and then rotate it upwards. So that's what I'm going to do. One more thing to remember, it really helps to twist this so that when the bolt goes through, this is parallel to the mount over there. We'll have to do some more twisting in place, but to start out with, if it helps if this is lined up already. So it turned out to be quite easy. The key is, as I said before, I couldn't take a video of that because I don't have an assistant today. This shock tower here, I pushed it in over there, sort of with the top poking out, and then gently rotated it up so that it sits there. You can see none of the bolts are in yet. What I'm going to do next is put the bottom bolt in. So now I have the bottom bolt in, and you can see it if I point it over here, I guess. There it is. This would have been a lot easier had I had someone to help with this. So what I did was I held this up with my left hand while peeking down to the cavity and held it up long enough to slide the bolt through. So not exceedingly difficult, but not fun either. So you can see that I have the guide bolt lined up on the side, and the guide bolt lined up at the top. And this turned out to be fairly simple on this side. The other side required me to use the jack to lift the entire axle up, which you can do to some extent with just this. So what you have to do is you have to hold on to this, twist this guy such that he's lined up with both of them, then push up on this, which you can do a little bit. It's enough to see that you can push on this, and it moves up enough for it to. You can push up on it enough to line it up. And in fact, if you push a bit harder with both hands, you can line the bottom bolts up, I believe, holes up so that I can put bolts through here. That's what I'm going to do next. So as you can see, I have all the bolts in place. They're not yet tightened, but there they are. And what I ended up doing was not just pushing on this guy here, but what I did was instead, with my right hand, pushed up on this, at the bottom of this, just pushed up enough, and it just moves a little bit. It's not that difficult. While pushing, I lined them up and then put the bolts in. I mean, once again, slightly easier with an assistant, or if you put a jack underneath it, that would work too. And these bolts, as it happens, they're not that sensitive to lining up the holes. They go in quite easily, which is a small mercy. So here we are again. I've got all the 4 bolts tightened, up there and down here. So the only trouble I encountered was that this bolt over here, this hole, this particular bolt wouldn't go into this hole, into the one on the left, for some reason. I swapped them and everything was fine. In addition, I used my little trusty bottle jack to raise the entire assembly just a little bit so that the holes would line up better, and so to have a less of a hard time getting the bolts in place. And now on to putting this guy back, which was easy on the other side. Let's see how this one is. Okay, so the bolt is in, and just remember the orientation. So I got it wrong on the other side as it happened. So I remember, unfortunately, I had taken a video of this earlier, so I matched it up and fixed both the sides. It's pretty easy. You have to push up on this and pull down on this guy while simultaneously pushing the bolt in. So not difficult.